What would you do to help foster economic development in the township? And it's Mr. Rich.
Thank you. I believe to help foster economic development in the township, we need to take a look at the layout of the township and identify where there are vacant areas that we can put storefronts in. One way that we can do this is with our media agreement that we currently have with the City of Canton. That media agreement is a mutual economic development agreement. And what that does is, in that agreement, first of all, it says that the City of Canton will not annex Plain Township, which is phenomenal. I can't stress enough that I am totally against annexation, and I want to keep Plain Township whole. But also what it does is it allows Plain Township to use the resources that the City of Canton have in their economic development team, which consists of almost 15 people, to search out businesses and search out that type of growth that we're looking for in Plain Township and place them in the township. I believe that that's an unused resource that our board, should take advantage of, and I hope does take advantage of, whether it's myself on that board or any one of these candidates. That's going to be the number one way that we can spur on, additional economic growth within the township, and then as well as, just being good neighbors. Working with the Stark County Commissioners, working with the City of Canton, City of North Canton, on just making sure that we're made aware when there's an opportunity for a business to come in, and retaining our own businesses. We've had several businesses leave just off that Fulton corridor. Now, they didn't shut down, they didn't go out of business. They left the township and went into a surrounding community. And that's a problem. We needed to figure out why they were going to leave, and we should have tried to stop.
Ms. Harley?
Yes, there's actually a few different options that we can do, and I would like to see the township move forward with in the next few years. Is we have Kmart that's left. So far, from what I'm told, Menards was talking about coming in. Why has that not worked out? What can we put in there? We need to take advantage of the companies and the small businesses that we do have and actually make them feel wanted and included. And that way, maybe word of mouth, that they will talk to fellow small businesses and say, hey, we need to come into Plain Township. They take care of our residents, they take care of our businesses, they're good with the taxes and the levies and everything of that nature. We need to actually go and seek out businesses. If we hear one that's trying to come up and looking for a spot, we need to actually go out and get them. And instead of them coming to us, maybe we need to go and hunt them down and get them actually involved and into our community. Especially because right now we're at an 80-20 ratio. And if we don't get that back, ideally we need it at 70-30. And that way our property taxes don't go up.
Thank you. Mr. Sable?
There's probably nobody sitting up here more in tune with annexation than I have. I have testified at many annexation hearings on behalf of the township's interest. And I agree, the annexation, old school annexation, is not good for the township. Unfortunately, the laws are written in everybody else's favor but townships. So the idea of that is to try to create these areas where we can cooperate. But even when that happens, there are technicalities. So if we do a type 2 annexation, for example, that is a rapid annexation, and then the tax dollars remain the same, but then there are other things that can be negotiated with that corporation to be able to work that out cooperatively. But I agree, cooperation and creating those relationships. But to sit at the table, you have to be invited to sit at the table. And unfortunately, we're struggling a little bit with being able to do that. We want to cooperate. We want to sit at that table. But it took us a long time on this particular one along Fulton. And for whatever reason, it just seemed like that was a dead issue. And we don't want it to be a dead issue.
Thank you. Mr. Hawes?
With respect to economic development, I know in my opening comments I talked about unparalleled economic revitalization with the fact of what we have here in the venue to Oakwood Square. And the irony is especially with the venue, we had some folks that previously really tried to get that pushed into an agreement with Canton that ultimately the developer didn't want any part of. And I can tell you as a board member, I reached out to that developer, went in there with our zoning director, our law director, to talk with them, to truly understand what it is they want. So it's not secondhand information. So, regardless of the discussion points here that may be made by some, we're at a lot of tables. Are we at all the tables that we'd like to be? Absolutely not. But this board, through the work with our zoning office, we've created the R7 PMUD, Plan Mixed Unit Development, that allows for residential and commercial to, we're leveraging the community reinvestment area, the CRA that Oakwood's being done. They've got a 12-year, 50% tax abatement. These folks are pumping in $5.5 million into our economy, something that had been sitting vacant for 15 to 17 years. And guess what? Within the last 2 years, this board has got the ball rolling on that. We've got something done, and we're going to continue to build upon that. So yeah, there's still some infill along Fulton, though most of that's primarily residential, to up the Whipple corridor. So leveraging the Stark Development Board and some of the chamber relationships will be the key to continuing to fill that out.